Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Scott, and today we are painting a Hold Thane from the Dwegom army for Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings. I'm actually surprised at how fun this model was to paint, so let's go ahead and dive into how I painted it. To get this model ready for painting, I've primed it using Ultramatte Slate Paint Plus Primer from Rust-Oleum, but you could use any gray or black primer that you want. We're going to start this project off by taking Kislev Flesh, and we're going to use this to paint all of the skin on the model. Once we're happy with that base color, we're going to take Contrast Guilliman Flesh, and we're going to do a wash of this over all of the skin that we painted in the previous step. After we've allowed that contrast paint to dry, we're going to take Kislev Flesh again, and we're going to layer this back over the raised surfaces on the skin. We're keeping it pretty simple with this particular model, and we're not going to do any additional layers of highlighting on the skin. Now we're going to paint the eyes on the model, and this is a pretty simple process. We're going to fill in the general area of the eye using white, and then we're going to use the skin color to touch up the borders around the eye, and finally we put a brown or black dot in the center of each eye. Our next step is to start working on the armor on the model, and we're going to use Leadbelcher as the base color for most of the armor. However, we are going to leave the armor plates that run down the center of the torso of the model, so we can paint those in a different color. Now we're going to take Agrax Earthshade, and we're going to do a heavy wash of this over all of the steel armor on the model. After that shade has been allowed to dry, we're going to take Ironbreaker, and we're going to layer this back over the center of each of the iron armor panels to bring back a more glossy and shiny appearance to the armor. Now we're going to take Screaming Bell, and we're going to layer this over the other armor panels that we didn't paint with the Leadbelcher earlier. Our next step is kind of fun. We're going to take Carroburg Crimson, and we're going to do 3 thin coats of this over all of the armor we painted in the last step. Now make sure you allow each coat to completely dry before you apply the next coat. Now we're going to take Sycorax Bronze, and we're going to use this to edge highlight those red armor panels. We're also going to add any scratches or damage to the armor that we want using this color. With the armor all done, we're going to take Leather Brown from Vallejo, and we're going to use this to paint all of the leather trim and any leather details that appear on the model. We're going to shade all of the leather using Agrax Earthshade. You can go as heavy as you'd like with this shade, it won't make too much of a difference. Once that shade is dried, we're going to take Baneblade Brown, and we're going to highlight the edges of the leather on the model. And there are 2 ways you can do this. You can either manually edge highlight it, or you can just dry brush if you're in more of a rush. Now that we're done with the leather, we're going to take Abaddon Black, and we're going to use this as the base color for the hair and beard on this model. Just be careful not to get this on his face. Once we're happy with that base color, we're going to take Dawnstone, and we're going to lightly dry brush this over all the hair on the model. Now, I did attempt to manually highlight this, and I wasn't happy with the result, so I decided that dry brushing was better, at least for this model. Our next step is to take copper from Acryl, and we're going to use this to pick out the ornamental bits on the armor and on the axe of this model. Once we're happy with all the details we've picked out, we're going to take Seraphim Sepia, and we're going to shade all of those copper parts using this color. Now we're going to take Kabalite Green, and we're going to use this to pick out the little tassels that are hanging from the armor of the model, as well as any clothing pieces on the model that we didn't paint with the leather brown earlier in this project. Finally, we're going to shade the areas that we painted with green in the past step using Biel-Tan Green. And with that, we finished painting our whole Thane. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, go ahead and like it, and then subscribe to my channel so you can see future videos that I make. I'd like to give a special shout out to my channel members who make videos like this possible. If you would like to become a channel member, hit the join button below this video. As always, have an amazing day, and we'll catch you in the next one.